Are you withdrawing too much from your portfolio? How would you know? And what can you do about it? I've got that answer and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Are you at risk of over withdrawing from your retirement account? This is one of people's greatest fears. And in fact, I heard a stat a long time ago, and figures lie and liars figure, but a stat that said people are more afraid of running out of money, of withdrawing too much from their retirement portfolio than they are of anything else. The second is speaking in public, okay? And then third is actual death itself, right? So this is big fear. And we get this question all the time when people say, can I afford to retire? And you might have thought that before, but we know that's not really the question. What you're really asking, or what someone's really asking when they say, can I retire, is, can I retire and live the same lifestyle that I'm living right now without running out of money? That's the full sentence. That's the full question. And you need planning to be able to answer that question and have that clarity and confidence. That 5-factor retirement plan, looking at all 5 factors that are critical and vital decisions that you need to make to determine whether you are on track for a confident retirement, and seeing how those 5 factors interrelate with each other, right? If you say, I want to be able to spend more, then do you need to save more, or do you need to work a little bit longer? There are trade-offs in those, and therefore financial planning and doing that 5-factor retirement plan will help you know, well, am I on track? Am I spending too much? And what to do about it. And we do see people actually spending more than what their assets can really afford. And it just happens once, not a big deal. But if there's a pattern of it, that's when us as CFPs need to sit down and say, I know I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you also have me in your life to tell you when things are going great, as well as to tell you when we're getting into a danger zone here. And we are. Right now, you are withdrawing more than what we had planned on, and more than I think your portfolio can sustain. Let's dig into the numbers. People don't do that intentionally. It often, this overspending, over withdrawing from their retirement typically happens because of a couple different reasons. One is you were planning, and you kind of stated early on throughout your career or when you're working with your CFP, hey, of those 5 factors, the retirement spending, yep, we think we're going to be spending this much a month. Or we've done the math and yep, we're spending this much a month. And then when you get to retirement, you actually are spending this much. And you might say, well, how is that possible? Well, things change in retirement. One is when you're at work, you're typically not spending a lot of money. When you shift and leave the workplace and now you have 6 Saturdays and a Sunday, you've got more free time, you might spend more money. That's one. Another is it might be the go-go years, right? There's typically a few different lifestyle phases that you go through in retirement. The go-go years, you're young and healthy and ambitious. And then the slow-go years, yeah, I've seen Hawaii, I don't really need to go back. And then the no-go years, going to Walmart is a big week, right? You just really don't want to move. And obviously that has lifestyle implications. So you might find yourself spending more than you planned simply because you didn't realize how much you were going to spend, or you have more free time. That's one reason. The second is you have a lot of one-time expenses. And I say it like that, almost smiling, because I've been able to get here with a lot of clients where they smile about it as well. Those one-time expenses, it seems like I have a lot of one-time expenses. And we joke about it, but hey, I'm never going to do this again. We need to, I need to do some landscaping this year. Or, oh, you're never going to believe this, the air conditioner went out. Or, oh, I've got this car repair. And so there's just, hey, in addition to the amount that you're withdrawing from your investments, and that might be in line with what you had planned and what you had worked on with your CFP, every few months you say, I need $3,000, or this thing just came up, I need $5,000. And over time, if that's a pattern, that just means you're withdrawing more than really what your portfolio can sustain. And then the third common reason why, and again, no one's intentionally saying, well, I want to withdraw more than I really can afford to do. But that third reason why they find themselves there is they've made a commitment that they thought would require a certain amount of financial impact, and it causes a lot more financial impact than what they expected. A very, very common one is something related to the house. We're going to do this renovation. It should cost 30 grand. Well, 60 grand later, you're still not done. We're going to buy that second home. We've always had a goal of being snowbirds, and therefore we're going to buy this extra house or this other house. And then once you do that, well, so we need the down payment, but then it really needs new carpet, and then it really needs a new kitchen, and sort of one commitment actually is a domino of commitments where, well, if we did this, we've got to do this and this and this, and those are the ones where it's like I feel like I can't stop it. I know I'm withdrawing more from my portfolio than I should, but I can't stop now. We've got to finish this project. So this is common, and it might be more common than you think, and you might, even if you're super disciplined, it could happen to you. So how do you know? How do you know? If you're getting that feeling and you want to have a clarity and confidence when it comes to retirement, so how do you know? Am I spending the right amount? Are we withdrawing too much? Work with your certified financial planner on that 5-factor retirement plan. This is why we coach about this all the time. A retirement plan is not an event. It's something that you update, reviewing those 5 factors and working through the output with your certified financial planner. Hopefully with that stress test, they're saying, yep, you're on track. This has a high confidence rate. But then you update that, you revisit that at least once a year. On your way to retirement, the couple of years before retirement, you're probably reviewing it every single meeting, so maybe 2 to 3 times a year, but you're still reviewing that in retirement as well. The first several years to see, well, this is what we expected you'd withdraw and spend. Here's what you're actually withdrawing. If we update the plan for that, you're still on track. Everything's going just fine. Or no, it looks like everything was green. Now we're in the yellow zone. Do we need to make any adjustments? Update your plan. Build that 5-factor retirement plan, and that will inform you. That will let you know objectively, where do I stand? So that's the main action item, but I'm going to tell you 2 kind of tangent action items off of that. Not only just update your retirement plan, but if you update your retirement plan and it confirms, yeah, you've been spending too much, working with your certified financial planner to say, all right, well, can we adjust how much we've been spending? We said we were going to spend this. We've actually been spending this. Can we adjust back down to this level? What would that look like? And if you can do that and be honest about it, then fantastic. That's great. But you're going to want to work with your CFP to update to the new reality. Well, what if we can't? What if in reality we said we were going to spend 6 grand a month, but we're really spending 7 grand a month? Let's just be honest about that. What's the plan say? And in doing so, you'll be able to see, well, what trade-offs, what adjustments do we need to make? Is it actually a problem, or does the plan still work? So that's one side of that tangent. If you are in retirement and you actually it's revealed you are spending a little bit too much, going through that 5-factor plan and talking about what adjustments and trade-offs you need to make, updating that. Yep, that's the main action item. For the rest of us who are not yet retired and are just wanting to have a confident retirement plan, then here's what I would tell you to do. Make sure you've got that 5-factor retirement plan updated, but then next, after that, stress test it. And every CFP should be stress testing that financial plan based on market volatility and sequence of returns. That we do 1,000 stress tests, all 5 of those factors: age, retirement spending, retirement income, how much you have saved up, and the risk you're comfortable taking with those assets. All of those 5 factors, we then do a stress test based on market, variability of market returns. Out of 1,000 different trials of stock market doing really well or really poorly and everything in between, what percentage of those do you end up reaching your life expectancy without running out of money? That's the basic stress test that should be done. But then you might want to apply a couple of additional stress tests as well. What about the stress test of you potentially spending a little bit more than what you expected? And that's where, if you're in your 50s or maybe your late 50s and retirement's still a few years off, what if you updated that? What if you were very meticulous and said, yeah, we're going to spend in retirement, we're going to spend about 7 grand a month. But you know what? What would it look like if we spent 8 grand a month? I just want to see, what if we end up spending a little bit more than what we thought? I would run that stress test as well. Are you withdrawing too much money from your portfolio? It's at risk for you running out of money. The approach is planning. The solution is planning. The antidote is planning. Work with your certified financial planner, build out that 5-factor retirement plan, and do that stress testing so that you know and have confidence related to the largest decision, the biggest financial decision that you make in your life, and that is when to step away from that steady paycheck and into retirement. Take the first step of that 5-factor retirement plan. Go to wisemoneyguides.com, download the guide, go through the input so that you're aware of what your inputs are going to be. And that can be the first step to that planning process with your CFP. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well. Or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.